tablet or phone. But even though it's on a tablet or phone, it's still the same UI for the complete, this is how it always works on everything.
Watch what you're kicking, Tim.
Did I just keep something I did?
Yeah.
I apologize.
Wow, that.
It's nice but they focus so much on tablets and phones that they didn't really take into account
Hey, Nina.
desktop users want.
What's up? So you don't have to add that comment. While we wait for the emulator to load. No.
Well, we're waiting with bated breath. That clock is way behind. It's now almost 4 minutes to noon. And Dr. Kushesh insists on feeding you first. So
we want to make sure that you guys are on good behavior. People who are hungry are kind of get agitated real quickly. All right? The reason we're really talking about this is because we're on a tight schedule. We have a lot of very interesting presentations, and we want to be able to get to them all. So we'll try to manage the time as best we can. Keep that please in mind.
well, the pizza arrives immediately at noon. Then we'll take some 5 minutes or at most maybe 10 minutes for everybody to partake in the carbohydrates. But if it doesn't arrive at noon or 5 minutes past noon, then we begin because we can't afford it. As the pizza arrives, as the teams present, and before you sit down, return to your tables, you can then grab a piece of pizza and eat it somewhere in a secluded corner of the room.
You only have one tab.
It's on. It's on. I made sure of it. Oh yeah, because
The way you
it's work for and no, what it is if the screen resolution changes after the emulator has already been started, the emulator does not register the correct position. I have to so I have to fire the emulator after the video for me. So anyways. So Dean was like, "You're first." I'm like, "Good."
You're first. Just the same order we had it this morning.
I'm waiting for Commandos. I'm going to see what they have. Oh, salmon. Sorry, that's a trip comment.
This is hilarious.
You have Lithuanian flashcards, right?
Oh, no, we have.
No, I expected you to do say, what is Smoke Menace in one of the cards?
We go through all the other groups of the card. Matt, we do that.
But how do you spell it?
Smoke.
Ladine, you have the sheet? Yeah. How do you spell it? Spell it.
Smell it.
Well, it's right here, Smoke Menace.
How do you watch Opensource TV? Matt, we should do that. All the other groups do. How do you watch Opensource TV?
Type in like open source.
Oh, it's going to be the last thing on the list, so see if they notice it. I put in all these like fake that like look at this one I put in there. Ethics, robot love. That's and then I was the only deck that actually has anything in it is this one. And
the problem is you need to be able to put it into your presentation.
Oh, I know. And then Where is it?
Looks like it's out.
Here. This is yours.
I don't think we need to laugh too much because the mic's going to pick that up.
Oh, I know.
It's doing so bad. Our presentation's going to be laughing for 5 minutes. You're saying?
Can I have your attention, please? Can I have your attention, please? Thank you so much for coming. We truly appreciate it. We value our students' work, and we want you to support them. One day you will be standing over here and talking, so be mindful of that. The semester is over, almost over. I know you're not happy, or I know that you're not exactly home yet. 2 more weeks to go. A lot of project exams, anxiety. Just hang in there and know that if you need help, you just need to let us know. Okay? So today we have 6 presentations from CS 370, our software engineering course, and 1 presentation from 470, our capstone course. Tomorrow we will have 4 additional, a week from today. 4 more presentations from CS 470, the capstone course. In addition, next week we have a presentation of awards for those students who have done well in our program and who have served the department in different capacities. So I urge you to be here again a week from today and to listen to our students' presentations and to enjoy pizza. Here is Dr. Levine introducing 370 students and their presentations.
Well, good afternoon, Muggles. We begin with digital flashcards, DeckMate, their team.
Happy Thursday, everybody. My name is Nina. This is Tim, David, and Matt. Together we're the Android Confederacy and the Roadside Enterprise, and we're here to introduce our Android application, which is DeckMate. DeckMate was inspired by your average, everyday 3x5 flashcards, and what it seeks to do is it strives to make learning mobile and convenient. DeckMate offers a limitless supply of flashcards. It's fun, and so today what we'd like to do is talk a little bit more about how you can get your study on. Go ahead.
Our deck uses Quizlet, which is the largest or the most popular flashcard website on the internet. We decided to use Quizlet because they have a very large selection of pre-existing flashcard decks, which allows our users to jump right into studying. Our DeckMate also allows the user to create new decks of flashcards and put flashcards into those decks so that they can, if the pre-existing cards are not enough from Quizlet. And Matt will now demo the app.
All right, so I'll start off by showing the Quizlet categories. These are just general categories of things that you might want to study. So something we might want to study is math and science, and then we could have changed this, but it's under engineering and then software. That just pulled down this list of pre-made decks that were made by other people. We can go ahead and click on one and then see it and go through it. This just pulled it straight down off of the internet, and it works great. You can also then go up to the search button and search for something. A deck that we made early on in the semester was one called Ladine. There's only one deck called Ladine, and there it is. Nothing spectacular, but again, that pulled it down over the internet. You can also search by ID. I won't go into that right now. And then, as Tim mentioned, you can also store local decks that you're creating on your own. So say we wanted to make our own deck. Ladine is awesome, or something like that, and then we can just go through and have new terms. So Ladine drives a blue Civic. And so now we have that deck. And if we come over here to my decks, which is the local collection of decks that we have, there you can see Ladine is awesome, and we could go into it. Here's another local deck that I made. This one is talking about the SSU awesomeness of CS. And here we have the queen of all things Python and under the sun, also an amazing boss, Dr. Revoir. So, okay. So that's pretty much that part of it. And now David is going to talk about the little game that we implemented as well.
And this game was inspired by Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. It's called Quiz Me, and what it does is rather than it gives you an alternative means of studying. Then going through card by card one at a time, you pick the deck that you want, and it randomly shuffles the deck, and you just randomly pick an answer. And basically the goal here is to allow you to actually quiz yourself and say if you actually know it or not. And unlike Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, you're not going to win any money, but by the end of this, you should be able to know what you're talking about, know everything in the deck. That's the end goal of Quiz Me.
All right. And that concludes our presentation. Thank you for your time and attention.
Okay, next team is Nick.
I know. I was too nervous.
What? Yeah, no, it's right.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. We're Team Segfault. My name is Nick. That's Adam, Sven, Brandon, Sean, and Yunji. And what we made is a game called Smoke Meadows, which is a trivia game, kind of with some motifs from Guitar Hero, Tetris, sort of things like that. It's a scrolling quick response trivia game where there's a question and then there's 4 bars that come down, and there's a paddle on the bottom that it might be maybe a little hard to see right now, but basically you choose with the paddle what answer to select of the 4 bars, and and as you pick, you can see there's also questions like pictures. There's a bunch of different categories, including images and stuff. There's sports, and then each answer has a bar that corresponds to it. You move the paddle to it. You can either use your mouse, or you can hit 1, 2, 3, 4 corresponding, or use your arrow keys. There's score multiplier up at the top. If you get 3 in a row, then you score twice as many points per question. If you get it, yeah, and at the end shows you what you got and the score. And if you get it wrong, then it shows you what the correct. Can you get one wrong? If you get one wrong, it shows you what the answer was, so that you can actually learn anything you missed. And the art is kind of like a desk with like little notebook and pencil up top. It's pretty neat, pretty straightforward. There's like over 150 questions, so you can play a good amount of times before you start to see any repeats, theoretically. And there's 3 questions per round. Does 1 round per category, but again, you can pick.
You want to choose some more categories?
Yeah.
Sure, Doc.
Yeah.
I can talk about design.
Yeah.
So it's written completely in HTML5. It's mostly done with Adobe. It will work on pretty much all your modern web browsers except IE. All the artwork's exported from Adobe, so that was easy enough. But the big thing was HTML5. It's new and it's fast. It doesn't quite work on iOS yet, but with Google Chrome and anything like that, it'll pop up seamlessly. So that's too hard. You might want to pause it. It has some other features with keyboards. It has a sound toggle. It has a pause toggle. And
yeah, but again, it's built completely in HTML5 with JavaScript. There's no Flash, no outside plugins involved at all. As long as you have anything that isn't Internet Explorer, then you can play it. It's online. segfaultSSU.com is our website if you want to play it.
Follow the Twitter feed if you want updates.
Yeah, Twitter. Oh, if you, yeah, our official means of if you want to add any questions of any sort, tweet us at segfaultSSU, and then we'll put it in. We promise. And that's Smoke Venos.
Opensource TV here?
All right, so my name is Alex. This is Jose, Eddie, Brian, and Kevin. We comprise Team Cement. We have been developing an open source platform called Opensource TV. It is intended to be plug-in free, and our goal is to provide a content management system so you can stream live video 24 hours a day. You have the ability to manage, upload, change playlists to your liking. And I will hand the rest of this demonstration over to Kevin.
Hi, everybody. So we're going to give you a quick demo of playing some video.
Controls. So the controls.
Just a second. So you can see the video is basically a full screen setup. We have some different tools, including volume control, a title, duration, basic information about the video that's playing. If you want that to go away, you can make the description and titles disappear. You can pull up a program guide to see what's playing and what's coming up in the list. And currently, there are only 2 videos that we're showing right now, and that's why that repeats. There is a dimming feature to blacken the screen. Okay. So now I will give you a quick demonstration of our content management system. You can see on the left pane the library that shows what videos are actually available to play. And on the right side, you see the program guide that's showing the videos that are currently in the list. So I'll go ahead and add another video, add it to the list, maybe one more, and we'll go back over to the video page and let that update. '90s Brian is a video I just added.
Put in just because.
So I can quickly come back to the content manager and drag just because.
We have an Apex procedural.
Anything you have to say to me, say to 90 Brian.
Oh my God, what are these for?
Just because. Well, today's not our anniversary.
And then really quickly, I'll demonstrate adding one more video to the library. How about the first date? Give it a title, first date, and enter a little password. And now we have first date in our list. You can go ahead and drag it over to the library or to the program guide Sorry. Sort of the luck of the draw here. And that's it. That's Opensource TV. Thank you.
Okay, Dr. Kushin is motioning for you to take 5 minutes.
So the plates are over here. Not very
It was there.
Oh, that's right. I don't. I still have to look.
Yeah. This is free. This is free and it's
I'm not positive about that.
You know where the napkins?
No, we got an extra.
I thought it was Tuesday.
Back quickly.
Okay, yeah, no.
Okay, Nina. And we're in Berkeley.
I guess not.
We're on practice. Except for David, he was in class.
Like we lost. I would be very happy if people did. And I would actually.
No, he was there this morning, but that's
we have 3 followers. All of
practice.
And I think we've been working on them 3 times.
Now there's songs stuck in my
Oh yeah, the ice.
I know. I had some respect for me too. I saw.
We've been watching it all class. I thought for sure they were going to have it in there.
Kevin, why not just follow me? No, just follow me.
Very much. Just because. I think that's what he said. Yeah, if you're really bored, it's a great website to go and find technical. Sort of entertained.
Pesto has bread.
Nice project.
Thanks, buddy. I can't wait to see you next week.
We have to step it up and make it look good.
Yeah, Carissa and the other
This is really nice. Have you ever seen it? I've played it. It looks awesome. It's super funny.
It made no sense at all at first.
Hey, Bob. I think our practicing. Oh, Tim, which one got napkins for you?
Not really. I mean, in general, I'd be able to tell you if I can actually open the apps. But from like the desktop point of view, it's very similar.
Hopefully you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. There's actually a way to add the start button back in, and like I think I've downloaded it, but I haven't gone to it. Literally. But yeah, it's actually pretty nice. We saw like demo at Vertigo
about the iPad project
on like an actual screen that could handle it, and it was very nice.
Okay, everybody listen up. Another presentation coming up on this little Titans. Learn the little Titans.
right here.
Okay, we're Little Titans. I just spent, I don't know, half an hour looking at Amazon reviews for measuring cups recently, because some didn't stack properly and some were just not the right shape and some didn't hold water, and I don't know. It was the most absurd process. And yet I still did it for about half an hour. And I realized, how would I have ever bought measuring cups before I had Amazon reviews to tell me which measuring cups were by far the best? I don't know. And then I thought, had to register for classes. And I went through this exact same process, except instead of looking up a nice orderly set of classes, I scrambled, yelled at friends, and said, have you ever taken biology from this person before? It was messy, to say the least. So I would like to show you our solution to that. We're going to crowdsource GE classes, because it's the hip thing to do. We have designed a site that lets you do basically two main things, and two obvious things. Look up reviews for classes and leave your own reviews. And if you don't leave your own reviews, you're being an ass. Because really you're not. So, we have this lovely little sliding page. And you can see, basically, classes reviewed. Here, search for, I don't know, B something. Sciences. Biological inquiry. You can see Anonymous has left a great review. And oh look, so have I. And Pat. It's super easy and, stuff. Can you believe what I say? Probably not. But you have a way to check. Go to home. As you can see, you get a list of everything people say. But you can also check, you could have clicked on the other place too, but I wanted to show the updated list. You can see all of the things I've left. 115, where I spelt your name like it was French. Is that how you spell it? Doesn't matter.
Stop wasting time.
I just came from French class. I'm like, revoir. Easy. Wrong. But you can see I'm a mixture of like serious, but then also with like the occasional comment like I'm stoned. I did that on purpose. I wasn't really stoned through all of Survey of US Music. And then just go to the rating tool. And then the other main component is, of course, rating, because you should always leave. You get to title yourself. I didn't, obviously. I was a question mark. You don't know what I really am. He's clearly a slacker. And the process is really painless, I promise. Boring. And it was, doubtlessly. Except you didn't pick a real class. But, you get the idea. It will yell at you. Okay. It's going to yell at you until you find a real class. So hopefully you're not just making up reviews, because...
I swear I took that class.
Hopefully you, when using this, wouldn't be making up reviews, because that's just a jerk move.
You use music 115.
So, I mean, that's really the functionality of our site. Hopefully it's going to make the registering process, which is now a nightmare, go a little bit smoother for everyone. But, you know, it's still going to be a nightmare because we can only do so much.
All right.
Okay. That's basically it. Yes. We're done. Seriously, go ahead and try.
Wait, where are my copies of myself?
Okay, Pseudo, make me a sandwich.
Wait, what file? All right. Okay, we are Team Pseudo. We have an Apache server running an OCR program, and it sends the text it outputs to an email that you provide. So I will give an example of that. So I will select an uploaded file here, and it will output on this page. And then in the email, I should have something in a moment. There it is. All right. So it's running on an Apache 2 server. And just uses PHP to grab the output from the BMP program. We use BMP to upload because it doesn't have compression, and JPEG's actually kind of hard to work with. But Nick can kind of explain how that works.
All right. Usually, I mean, we were taught OCR in 3.15. Like, how we did it was with easy BMP, you just count pixels, and it's really simply counting pixels. You count how many circles or how many like holes it has in it. So like if it has one hole, it can be an O or an R, but it definitely can't be an E because it doesn't have any holes. But that's a very simple way to do it, and stops working very quickly if you change sizes. Like, say we made this one font size bigger, the number of pixels is going to be completely different from this size right here. So we needed to figure out a different way to do that because, like, the application we had for this is take a picture on, like, your phone, send it to the server, and then it will send back the text, like, from a textbook. But of course, you know, depending on, you know, how close or how far away you take the picture, how grainy it is, like, it makes the OCR a lot more difficult. So the first thing our server does is clean up the image, kind of whitens it out a little bit more so, you know, grays turn to whites and pretty dark stuff becomes pure black. And then what it does is it scans through the image, putting little lines in between the lines of text. Like, it just walks across until it finds white pixels all the way across and puts a line there. Then from there, it will start boxing in all the letters, doing the exact same thing it did walking across like this. And it will check in between the letters, right past the, you know, corners of them, and make a bounding box around them so we know where each of the letters is specifically. Then it will start, as you can see right here, we actually have a little tracing thing. It starts in the lower left-hand corner, traces across until it hits the letter. So like here, it doesn't trace because it's right there. But then it's going to trace the letter in this green you can see here. And what it does when it's tracing is it takes the derivative all the way around the letter. And these are our derivatives. And so what happens is no matter how big or small it is, it's still going to have approximately the same, you know, slope all the way around for each letter. And we do the derivatives, like we set them up so that they're kind of like a clock. So 0 is perfectly vertical, 1 and 2 are in between vertical and horizontal, 3 is horizontal, 4 and 5, so on and so forth. So it's set up like that. It makes it a lot easier to think of it that way. And so these are actually like letters that we've scanned in, and these are all the different derivatives we took on each side. And then on the next slide, see, in what we do is we take a whole sheet of just like A through Z, 0 through 9, and scan it into a database, like very clean pictures. And so what we get are these derivatives again. And then what we do is when we scan in a picture, we compare the derivatives that we get from that picture to these letters each, and then we do the longest common substring of it. So basically, the set that compares closest to one in here, it will say, okay, that's probably an N or an M, like depending on how closely it fits to each of these, and then it outputs that, and that's basically how our program works.
Cool. Good timing.
Okay. Team MacJam.
Here. Okay. Plugged in.
Is this sound on?
Yeah. Oh, it's over there somewhere.
No, I'm not.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. We are MacJam Interactive, and we're here to introduce Land Grab for iPad. So we have our introductory screen. We're going to choose our players, our board size. We want a time-based or turn-based. In this case, we're going to do a time-based game. And Land Grab is a very fun, exciting, quick-paced game that pits you against 2 to 4 players to gather as many resources as possible and have the highest score at the end. So let's walk through how this works. Every player starts with a capital. Oops. Then they place a tile upon a blank space, a positive resource, or the question box, which is a mystery box. And what will happen now is that the score gets tallied by the amount of territory you have multiplied by your score. Okay, so the mystery box, you have 4 kinds of resources you can get. You can get, as you saw, a negative resource. You can get a add tile resource, which will let you add a certain amount of additional tiles per turn. You can get a bomb, which allows you to bomb other enemies. Or you can get the territory expansion resource, which makes a huge expansion to your territory. So let's watch this game unfold a little bit. So you see yellow still warming up there. And the great thing about the territory expansion resource is that it will gather any additional resources where the tiles go on top. Okay. And then, so blue is really doing well right now. You can see also this kind of funny spinning galaxy in the middle. This is a special resource that will give you positive 500 points. And as the scores are multiplied, basically whoever's going to get this resource will, in fact, pretty much win the game. So it encourages users to go near the middle and start to interact with each other. Andrew, have we got any bombs yet?
Yes, we have one for blue.
Okay, so now we're going to show you the bomb, which I'm very proud of. So zoom in, find an enemy, and lay it. So Andrew's being a very calculated player here. Oh, he's going to hurt poor yellow. So now the great thing about the bomb is that in order to place a tile, it must connect to the capital somewhat. We have a recursive algorithm that traces each tile to the capital. So now, if yellow wants to place on top, he's unable to because he's not connected to the capital. So the yellow now has to basically reconnect his property, essentially losing a turn. And this can get very useful near the end game, where you want to really decimate someone's score with the bombs you've saved up.
Blue is clearly cheating.
Yes, exactly. Luck is really much on his side. So,
oops.
Anyway, why don't we do the end game? And so we have an end game which tallies up the scores, and we see that blue, of course, did phenomenally. Yellow and red, not so much. Green, very quickly. So, anyway, that is Land Grab for iPad. Thank you very much.
Small collection of those.
And these were 370 super talented students. Let's congratulate all 6 teams.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ledeen. So our last presentation for today is from 2 students, a team from CS470, the Capstone course. They have an iPad app that they would like to demonstrate to you. Krista, the next tank.
Oops.
We actually have more time.
We have more time?
We have more time.
Oh, great.
So we can actually maybe
Okay. Oh, actually. Oh, no, this is the X code.
I know, you did good. Thank you. So while he's getting this up, our game is called 5 Elements, and it's based on the Chinese theory of the 5 elements and their supporting and destructive roles with one another. And we have images to show you, so I'm not spitting words and you not understand what I say. That tends to happen a lot.
Oh, actually, so what is the maximum resolution I can have? Okay.
Cool. You should be. Okay. Well, so there's a splash screen. Go to a new game. So I'm not going to make you read all this because it's very long, and we're working on making that a little better. But essentially, our game consists of multiple parts. There's 2 players, and the players are each going to have a table, which is all the cards that they've played. And they're also going to have a hand. And at most, you can only have 5 cards in your hand, and I'll explain what that means. And at most in your table, you can have 10 cards. Right, we changed it to 10. Yes, 10 cards. It used to be 15, but then the game took forever. So if you get to 10 cards in your table, then next you're lost. If you get 5 cards in your hand at the beginning of your turn, no, if you end your turn with 5 cards in your hand, sorry. If you end your turn with 5 cards in your hand, then at the beginning of your next turn, when you draw a card, you're going to have 6, and you can't have 6 ever. So we place a lock on your table. So what that means is, do you want to show them the actual grid? Yeah. So what that means is here, you can't really see, but you start with 3 cards, and then we automatically draw the first card for you. So your turn begins with 4 cards. You could place pieces by selecting one of the elements down here, and you place them on the grid. When you actually play a piece, it gets put in your table, and then that's how your table is conformed, and that's how you deal with the cards that you draw. Each turn you can draw a card. I should probably say the actual turn. So you start your turn by drawing a card, and then you have to shift.
So
if
that is
it's
a lock
blank,
card.
you don't shift because there's nothing there. Yeah, and that's a lock card because he had 5, so when he went to draw a new card, he couldn't. So he gets what's called a lock. The way that it works is once you place elements on the actual grid, it goes on your table, and then to collect points, you have to find a sequence on your table, a minimum of 3, and then find the same pattern in adjacent squares on the grid. You select those as well, and then you're going to click collect points, and it'll show up over there. The goal is to get to 10 points, and then that's one way to win. The other way to win is if the other player gets 10 cards in their table without taking any away. So I know that's super confusing, so we're actually going to demonstrate it a little bit.
So basically, let me restart a new game. So here's a very quick reference sheet, and we got the game turns. Every beginning of your turn, you have to draw a card. It's not option. You have to do that. So that means if you have 5 cards at the end of your turn, next turn you are definitely going to get a lot of cards in your table, which is bad. You don't want to do that. Sometimes you have to sacrifice if you want to collecting point. You probably would have to leave the 5 cards at the end of your turn, which is bad. And if you have to shift the board next, if there's any scenes on the actual board, then you have to shift your board. And you have to do actions, which is you can draw a card or you can play a card. Something that's very interesting is if you okay, I'm going to show you the diagram first. So they have different relationship between each other. So fire support earth, earth support metal, metal support water, and water support wood, and wood support fire. And they also have a destroy relationship, so they destroy each other. Fire destroy metal, metal destroy wood, and wood destroy earth, and earth destroy water, water destroy fire, of course. So for this kind of relationship, you can make something really cool. So for the rule, like here, you can play a card. You can make a card chain, which means if you play a fire, then you can play another extra card in your turn, which is very important because you can only start collecting cards from 3 cards minimum.
For collecting points, you have to have at least 3 cards. So what he was saying is you can play multiple cards per turn if they are in a supporting order. So what he did is he played fire and then he played earth. So you can do that, but you cannot play fire and then try to play metal because those two do not support each other.
So I'm just going to do something really silly for player 1, and I'm going to show you how to collecting point. So basically, as one of the action, you have the choice to collecting card. You first of all you're selecting the sequence on your board on your table, and then you have to select in the corresponding elements on the board. And after that, if you're collecting points, then you score 3, which is here. And after you score, one of the players score 10 points, then they win the game, 10 or more, of course.
Yeah. So do you want to show a chain reaction?
Oh, chain reaction, that's something very interesting.
You can place elements on top of each other if you so desire, and if one element destroys one, so like if you place water on top of fire, the fire goes away, it's left with water. If you do something that's supporting, such as placing wood on fire, your fire is actually going to grow to the adjacent squares as well. So we can...
So I'm going to show you to put water on the wood, since water supporting wood. It's going to cause a chain reaction like that. So it's going to destroy and change the board a lot. So you can use this kind of strategy to mess up with your opponent. And also sometimes can support yourself a little bit to gain the more element that you want.
Mostly just because it's fun to watch it expand.
Yeah, that's true. So let's see. Let's go. No, this is okay. Let's start a new game. So, Chris, would you like to just demonstrate it a little bit? So, okay, I'm gonna go first. So, since I'm gonna go first, I'm going to place down stone and metal, and it's your turn.
Yeah. All right.
You have to shift first.
That's right.
And if you guys have any question, ask anytime you want, okay?
Yeah.
Please do. Okay, very interesting. It's one of my friends. This artwork.
Definitely not us.
No. I'm a programmer, not artist, unfortunately. So I believe I can do a metal. Your turn.
I keep forgetting we have to shift first.
Oh, see? She just destroys her own fire, so she cannot collect fire anymore. It's okay.
So, and then you can hide the rules as well, or not the rules, the diagram that's back here. So you can toggle that. We also have it to where you can toggle the rules because the rules are quite complex. And believe it or not, they were even more so complex, and we chopped a lot of them off. So this is the easy version. If you want the hard version, it was infinite chains, and the whole board would change, and it was a lot of fun. But it was way too hard to teach people, or in some cases, win. Because one piece placement could end up changing the entire grid to one element, which made it difficult.
Another thing is if one of the player, I'm just going to show you guys the in-game stage, and if nobody actually do anything.
Oh, that's one thing we forgot to say. So if you do get a lock card, that actually prevents you from selecting other cards on your table that would be down here, if that makes sense. So it splits up your table. Because you can select multiple elements from your table. It doesn't have to be 3. And then you can collect points, but you can't use the lock at all. So it's a way of forcing you to, you can choose these 3, or you can choose anything below the lock, but you can't choose the lock. Yeah?
Is there a least amount of points you can collect? Like, can you collect one element?
No.
No.
You can only collect at least 3.
So it has to be at least 3.
Okay, I'm going to just make player 2 lose very quick.
Player 2 seems to lose a lot when we're testing.
Because...
Yeah. If it fills, you can still place pieces on top of each other, or you can,
you can
start
destroy.
blocks. Yeah. Chances are, if it's full, you're probably going to be able to find a sequence somewhere on there. But I think we only ran into a couple test cases that were that way. But and then here you go. So player 2 lost. They have too many cards on the table.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they got the 11th, and the 11th is destroy
the player. So ultimately, we are planning to make music and sound effect for this game, and it's not going to be like those grades, which is ugly. And ultimately, we want to replace this as some kind of prettier image, and we want less words than rather than a lot of. I mean, we want to replace all of the word to images to make it easier to understand.
Essentially, we want more graphics, but like we said, we're not very good at art, so
So
this is what you get.
Yep.
Chris, do you have the game on the iPad?
Oh yeah, so we already got it run on the iPad. We already play tested on the first generation iPad, and this is targeting for iPad anyway. So if it can run on the first generation iPad, that means it can run on any iPad, and runs perfectly, exactly same as what is this, and the graphic is the same.
We also support multitasking on it
yep.
too, which was fun.
We support multitasking. So if you turn it off and you click it back again, it's remember where you were. So don't worry, it will lost your progress.
At one point, we didn't support multitasking.
There are only 2 players on one iPad? Or?
2 player on the iPad.
One iPad.
So maybe you already see that at the end of the turn, you have to let the next player to tap this area. And we're also supporting the different protocol, so you can actually play the other side. So if you sit side to each other, so you can play like that. And during the next player turn, you can just handle the players.
So like in theory, you never know what the other player actually has in their hand. So like that's kind of the goal of the cover that's there. So you always see what the other player has on their table, so that way you can screw them over, or you can decide to play more aggressively and gain yourself more points. But that's the ultimate goal in that cover. So we did allow forward rotations, that way you truly can't see the other person's. So is there anything else that...
Any question?
I know it's a super complex game.
Yeah, it is.
Right.
You probably need to study the rule about 5 to 10 minutes before you really understand
all you need
it.
to know is if you get that diagram relationship down, then you pretty much can figure it out from there. If you did notice when he was selecting elements, the next supporting element will actually pop up for you.
So for
that way
example,
if you want to play multiple, yeah.
So
you can, if you're closer to the front, you can kind of see. The metal popped up because he had just played Earth, and Earth supports metal. So it goes up so that way if you want to play multiple pieces, you can. You're not required to. You only have to do one. So on your turn, you can either place a piece, collect elements, or draw a card. So, and this button changes to whatever you decide to do.
So this is a smart button. It's going to tell you what to do. It depends on your current situation. So it's going to show the message what you can do only on particular state. So for example, now you can skip action, and this button became a skip action button, which means you cannot really do anything else. Or of course you can play down element as well. And if you don't want to keep playing element, you can just press the skip button.
So you don't have to score, get points to win. You could play entire defense or win just by...
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So you can either play more aggressively or more defensively. You can either really just mess up the other person to where they can't collect points and their table gets to 10, or 11 rather, or you can try and get 10 points yourself.
There's actually a lot of trick to play this game. So for example, you can place down only one particular element in your turn. That means you can only play one element per turn, but that means it's really, really easy for you to collect an element as well. But the payoff is you always have a full lot of the card in your hand, and when you're trying to collect point, you're probably going to get a lock in your deck. And the other player may find a way to mess you up, and you just cannot do it anymore.
Can you, sorry? No. Locks? No. The locks are stuck there. So you're stuck with your locks.
So if you...
It's actually how player 2 loses more often than not when we're testing. We just let player 2 collect locks all the way down.
So you'll never be able to get rid of this lock. I'm going to let player 2 to help player 1 a little bit. And during player 1's turn, and it be able to collect in points. As you can see, this button now is collecting point because of player 1 trying to collect in point. So it's a smart button. And you collecting point, those locks still there. You'll never be able to get rid of it. And you'll never be able to select on it.
So that's our project.
Yep.
Thank you so much. Thank you for coming. And please do come back next Thursday. We have more CS 470 presentations and also the award ceremony.
Oh,
thank you.
I like your smart button.
Oh, thank you.
We used to have 3 buttons, and we're like, this is pointless.
So this game is actually designed as a board game, so the rules is supposed to be a little bit complex.
It was really fun because we bought all the physical pieces first and figured out how we wanted the game to be, and then we decided it was really cool. Yeah.
It seems like it's a board game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's very
Because I like to design games and all this stuff.
It's also like a simple design because all you have is just tape on the elements. So you place it and say, oh, this is the right or the wrong element. Instead of walking you back. Are they only 5 or we usually add more?
I believe there's only 5 elements because it's already kind of complex enough. But what I'm thinking about, maybe I'm going to play a wild element or something. So it can be contour or any kind of element. I don't know. I haven't decided.
What about just having just 3 or like a rock, paper, scissors thing? Is that too little?
I think it's too simple. That's the way it is.
I sent you a few, but the one
What do you guys think? This is more like yours. So we won't do this next. Oh, I know. So are we feeling okay? Yeah.
I tell people to get 4 to 5 pieces.
Much better.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea
Well, just say, please only take one and see if there's leftover.
Yeah.
This was a very healthy battle.
Yeah, wow.
And
It was.
thank you for your presentation.
All right. You need help carrying things back?
No, I don't think so.
You want me to take this?
What is there? Got a sumo on it. Your multiple cameos. Oh, it's all about you all the time. Yeah, I bet it's downloaded right now.
Yeah.
All the time. With the last
Okay.
I know it's here at school.
All right, thanks. All right, have fun at the film festival. Bye.
They weren't so firmly attached.
Yeah, lost mine a couple of times. Yeah. If I wasn't so tall, I'd have a small one that I could just fold up. But if I get a small one, basically, it only covers half my body. So. What ankles and or entirely in my pants.
extended the deadline for the paper?
So the first, yeah. Yeah, there were only like 5 people here or something one day, and he was like, "You guys papers due the first, right?" And we're like, "No, the 26th." You go, "Well, that's cool. You can just turn in the first if you want." And we're like, "Fuck yeah, all right."
Oh, this was a all-nighter. Yeah. I mean, yes, but.
just collect them. If you have the papers, I'll gladly take them. If you don't have them, I'm really glad to take them. There you go. Okay, I'm going to finish up the text today. I think we'll get through it. Maybe we won't. If not, we can spend a little time on Tuesday. I did post yesterday to Moodle the practice exams, the two, and then some things to study, focus on, just like we did on the second exam. And we'll spend the next week going through those questions, and if there's anything else